Absolutely.
Can I ask you how you pooed?
It's a Gold Coast
In the worlds before monkey, primal chaos reigned.
G'day viewers. This podcast is brought to you by Koala Calm with a chill out drink. Sit back, relax and
cycle through Asia.
Asia?
I
remember in the old days
9 months worth of cycling.
9 months.
16,000 kilometres.
Do you remember when I remember at school, like the
Is
old
that right?
maps.
No, I got it wrong, didn't I?
No, 1,200 kilometres.
Oh.
6,000. Also, Mongolia was 1,200.
Well,
6,000.
so, with a little bit of help from our guests.
That's going to the IGA at my place. Probably 10,000 times. Hey, something you can relate to. No, today's podcast we bring you Mattg Aubort. I don't even want to ruin this intro yet again, but Mark and his lovely wife Mel and their 3 kids went all the way from Mongolia to Iran, 6,000 Ks.
On a tandem
on
pushing.
2 tandem bikes.
2 tandem bikes.
With no preconceived thoughts that we can imagine. They weren't even cyclists. They took tents. They pretty much stayed in tents in the cold and the freezing, and they did it on goodwill and made it. And it's a great listen.
And the whole 9 months they lived on, like, what would it be, like 20 litres of... altogether it would have been about 20 litres worth of belongings.
What are you talking about?
Sorry. I'm just trying to work out, like, because you had...
20 litres lentils.
Your belongings. It was like, if you were to put it in a truck, it wouldn't be a 2-ton truck worth of belongings that you had. It would be like a 20 litre.
Right.
It would fit in a small car boot. There you go. So we're talking like minimalisation to the max.
We cover everything. How you pooed. All the big topics. Yet again on this great show. If you're listening to this, please subscribe on iTunes, Spreaker, Acast in the UK, iHeartRadio in America, and Stitcher everywhere. So thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. And are you there, Mattg? Woo! G'day, Rika.
Drew.
How are you?
Good, thank you. Bit wet.
Now, it's Tuesday. It's raining. It feels like summer now, though. Even though it is raining, it's like a proper little sun, like a thunderstorm sort of deal. Do you feel like it's summer now, finally?
Yesterday I did. Yesterday and the day before was like stinking.
Well, it's still cold. That's the weird thing. Do you think the world's kind of ending?
Cool. Yeah.
You do?
What?
You think the world's kind of ending?
For me it is soon.
Well, you know how, like, with the weather, isn't it? It should be sort of hot now. My memory of December is it's hot. It should be hot. It's been cold all the time.
Yeah. No, I agree. Because I'm still using a blanket at night.
Yeah.
And we never used to do that when we were kids. It'd be like, a sheet will do, a towel will do.
You're from Brisbane, right?
Yeah.
I remember growing up in Brisbane when I was a kid. Some other people said this to me, that I remember wearing jumpers a whole lot more. Mattg's in the corner. G'day, Matt. He's all the way from London.
He would remember wearing jumpers, but we did.
What? It's snowing in London.
Snowing.
Oh, you get those good Christmases.
White Christmas.
White Christmas. That's a lie. Is it? Is it? Well, anyway, here we are. I want to put it there, Mattg Aubort.
Hi, how you going,
He's in the other room. We're still pretty rusty.
Hello.
After 188 episodes, we're still
was
horrible.
A weird intro.
Well, I'm weird.
Oh, it was quite good. I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Tell me firstly, how are you?
I'm well.
Yeah? Have you ever done anything like this before?
No, not at all.
Nothing. Well, you look so relaxed.
Actually, There was something from Mongolia, actually, so maybe we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mongolia.
I don't think I could. I'll be lying if I pretend to know what you've did. I've just blown away by something when someone told me what you did. So okay, to preface this in a cool way, I think.
Yeah.
When I look out my window in the morning, so I live deep in the Currumbin Valley, as you do.
Yes.
And without giving away where we live, all of a sudden, I've known you for years before this, but now I see you every morning on a tandem bike, but a small wheeled tandem bike with some sort of like carrying space on the back.
That's right.
And you're riding to school early in the morning with, how many kids you got there?
We've got 3.
Okay.
3 children, yep.
3 young kids.
Yeah.
And I kind of look out going, there's something new you see every day. Normally I look out, I see the cows, I see a couple other familiar vans, cars, the bus, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, who's that? That's Mark. And then someone told me. Tell me what happened.
All right. Well, I guess we've got to go back a few years. So, like you said, I've been away for a few years, and I think it was 2014, we decided to go to Tonga at the beginning of that year. So we lived there for a couple of years, and then I turned 50. So I thought, I guess, what am I going to do for my 50th? I mean, I guess I could leave my family, or I could, as you might do in a midlife crisis, or you might say, well, okay, no, how about I take my family with me? And my wife and I have always done some cycle touring.
Yeah.
And we thought, I thought initially, how about we do a big family trip on bicycles? So we thought, yeah, let's give it a go. So it all sort of started from there. I had to sort of celebrate my 50th, and then, we just went from there.
So in Tonga, did you ride bikes?
Not really. We had bicycles. We did a couple of camping trips over an island called Iowa. So we used to catch the ferry across to this particular island and would cycle maybe 3 or 4 kilometres. The kids would have all their own bikes and would have our bikes. I'd have Rain on the back. She was quite small at that time. And,
just fun, just
fun,
exploring.
Yeah. I would go away and just go camping for a week on the beach and just hang out with a Tongan fisherman and explore the beaches over there. It was awesome, really nice. And then, I guess that sort of led into, let's keep it going. And so when I first looked into it, I thought, where do we want to cycle to? So pretty much I got into Google and I thought, what's the best cycle trip? You know, what's one of the must places to go on your bicycle? And the one thing that came up was the Pamirs, which was over in Tajikistan. So when you look on the map, Tajikistan's pretty much in the middle of Central Asia. Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Never.
No, neither.
No, there's a whole series of stans, which I'll go through in a sec. But so Tajikistan's in the middle of Central Asia. Mel always wanted to go to Mongolia. So I thought, okay, maybe we could start there. And about 10 years prior, we'd been to Iran, and we loved it. It was really, really nice. So we thought, let's end the trip there. So we just have to join A and B with C in the middle, and then we'll just do that. So, and that's pretty much what we decided.
Continent?
It's all the same continent,
Oh, wow.
So basically, I'll give you the list of countries now. So you start from Mongolia, you go through Western China, then you head into Kyrgyzstan, and then into Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, quick detour through Turkmenistan, and then into Iran.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Iran. Isn't Iran a Middle Eastern country?
That's another one. No. Are you racist? Listen to that.
No, well,
didn't you know there were Middle Eastern people there?
No, that's not where I was going. I'm trying to, because I'm really, really bad with geography.
Don't you know there
But
are...
I'm thinking, because I know Mongolia and China.
All the stans are...
But
that's a Middle Eastern deal, is it not?
Isn't Middle Eastern... Isn't Iran like where the African...
Oh, my God. What school did you go to?
Different continent.
Haven't you ridden there on a bike, Rika?
Isn't it near where Egypt and that?
No.
No. Oh, okay. Oh, back to year 7 for me.
Egypt
then.
is Africa. Hell yeah.
So we're on the other side of Eastern Europe.
Cavendish Road, boys. Oh, no, Cavendish Road.
Co-ed school.
Co-ed school. Congratulations. You did good, Rika. Hey.
They called me the LA woman, remember?
Yeah. Now, before you get into it, I think it needs mentioning. Okay, so without revealing their names, how old are your kids?
Well, at the time that we started our trip, they were 7, 6, and 4.
Yeah, so young.
That is young.
Very young
Very
kids.
young.
And my oldest is 7 now, and I think they're at 7, just starting to, really work the world out, and they know a bit of consequence. Don't do that, and
Exactly,
just starting to chill out. But 6, still asking, sort of doing some silly things. But
6,
4,
you're still falling asleep on the bike, and
Big
4,
risks.
you're passing out on the bike.
yeah, but no, that sort of.
But what about even toilet stops and that? Don't 4-year-olds have to go all the time?
No,
No?
not really. No, I mean, I guess the brilliant thing about cycling with children is that you stop more often.
Oh.
So normally, when Mel and I were cycling, we'd probably start cycling, and after 2 or 3 hours, would have a break, maybe have lunch,
Yeah.
and then for an hour, and then carry on for another 2 or 3 hours, maybe have an afternoon break, and then pretty much another couple of hours, and then you're setting up camp. With kids, there's just no way you can do that.
Yeah.
So pretty much the way we planned it out, well, we're just going to have to stop more often. And so it basically came down to, pedal for an hour, have a break, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour.
Oh, of course.
And, in those countries, there's no problem about finding a toilet.
Wow. Well, let's pull it back, right?
Yeah, okay.
So you decide what to do.
Yeah.
You obviously have to pull the kids out of school and all that sort of thing.
Yep.
You've got to decide to leave your own home.
Yeah. Well, we
Right?
didn't.
It's a massive decision.
We'd already left our home, but we weren't going to move back in. So it sort of made life a little bit easier.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Did you take the bikes from here? Did you set up in the backyard, right, here's what tell us what you took.
Okay, so, while we were in Tonga, because we only had a month back in Australia to sort of put everything together.
Your wife's from Tonga.
That's right. So, my wife's originally from Tonga, and that's why we ended up living there for a couple of years. From Tonga, internet, it's amazing these days. So I got in contact with a guy in Canberra, and he was importing some frames, some Circe frames from the UK, and I got in contact with him, got him to build up 2 tandems. And basically, the reason why we chose 2 tandems was because, we went through all the different combinations. So we could have gone for a standard bike with like a kid's trailer on the back, and maybe the eldest riding a bike, but we quickly discounted that because she was still a little bit too young. And then we thought, well, if we had 2 tandems, we've got 2 on the back, and then the other one, the smallest one, could sit on the rear rack. I mean, she sort of weighed then probably about 16, 17 kilos, so it wasn't a huge ask. And ideally, those 20-inch wheels, they just allowed us to get the kids onto the bikes with less hardware. So, it was quite good that way. So, and also 20-inch wheels, stronger, lower to the ground. Yeah. So it just made life a little bit easier. If we were ever going to fall off the bike, we didn't have far to fall, sort of thing. So, yeah. So
how long was this trip anyway?
What
I can't believe is you didn't even do it from the Gold Coast to Brisbane. You know what I'm saying? Okay,
what do you mean, Gold Coast to Brisbane?
Well, you started
at the deep end, kind of.
Yeah,
I see.
You chose your equipment. Okay, we got that far.
Yeah.
Right, and did you do any from what I was told, you slept in tents?
Yeah, we slept in one tent, one 4-person tent, all 5 of us. We had 4 sleeping bags, so 2 for the kids, zipped up. They slept 2 up, 1 down.
Yeah.
And then Mel and I had our own sleeping bag. And
how long did this take?
So we started in end of April, and finished end of January, the following year.
Wow.
So it's about 9
That's
months.
longer than I even thought.
Are
Yeah.
the seasons the same as here? Like, was that through winter? And,
No, because that's all